everyone to our 7th episode of ABAP on HANA come S4 HANA training course on YouTube with me Amrit. So in the previous session we saw some new syntaxes, what are the SQL and ABAP language enhancements given by SAP in our 7.4 and 7.5 syntax. Now if I go and check some more of them, so another one is passing literals. We can now directly pass literals to SQL. We can directly pass literals to SQL. Let's check that. Comment them out. So passing literals to SQL. Passing literals to the SQL. So here now we can directly pass literals to our columns and we can combine them and we can get the same output. For example, let's say I'm giving query here and I'm sending hello and I will call a column empid. Then here alias is mandatory, so as employee ID. I have an employee table, I'm simply calling it. So from my table name into table. Now we can use direct inline data declaration using skipping a data keyword. So LTEMP tab up to 5 rows. What is happening here? It is going to combine and this logic will be pushed down to HANA. This logic will be pushed down to HANA and the same thing we are going to get in our LTEMP. So together we will get them as output now. Together we are going to see them as output. So if I go and check the loop at LTEMP tab into data LSEMP and loop. And get the output. So LSEMP. Save, activate and execute. Web application. See, combined together. Hello has been combined to all my employee IDs in the table. All has been combined together and we are getting the same output, a single select query, lots of results, right? So now this concatenation is directly happening in HANA instead of ABAP application layer. We are not at ABAP application layer. This is happening directly in HANA. Okay, perfect. Then we can use round and seal SQL functions. Round and seal SQL functions. The SQL functions helps us to perform computation easily. Yeah, they help us to perform computation easily. So we can easily perform them. Let's check that. SQL functions for pushing out logic to HANA. SQL functions for pushing logic to HANA. So I have a table for my let's say that select buyer. We have a table there. We are simply using the table SNWDSO. So buyer GUID gross amount. Then I'm using a round function now. Round. I will round the value of gross amount here. Gross amount up to 0 I'm going to round it up to 0, and we need alias here, so as gross amount round round, and I will simply display it. So ceiling function I can also use here, so ceiling gross amount as round amount. Alias is mandatory. If you are going for these things, alias is mandatory here. So from my table name, which is snwd underscore so, and I'm simply storing it into table at the rate data itab. I'm simply using it, right? Oh, there is some problem here. We need comma. That's fine now. Now we can display that. What is happening here? We have added one extra column. This round data, first I'm going to get buyer GUID, then I'm going to get gross amount. After that, this gross amount we are rounding it and displaying in this extra columns. And again, the same gross amount is going to be round using seal function. Seal function, the top value will be displayed. So let's go and check. Loop at itab into data ls tab, and loop. Now let's go and display. So write ls tab buyer GUID, ls tab gross amount, gross amount round, and at last same alias we need to print. So at last this one, ls tab round amount. Okay, activate, and let's check it. Run as ABAP application. Now you see what is happening. This is buyer GUID. This is my gross amount to amount. Now this amount, after rounding it to 0, so we have rounded it simply to 0. Now let's check some value. 73 has been increased to 251, so we have rounded it to 0. This is only for ceiling function. So here the top value after 03, one added. 49, simply see here, one added. Here just see one added. So ceiling function. Now what is happening here? One column has been added as an extra. Code push down. We are pushing down our incentive logic directly on HANA. This is the beauty of it. Okay, this is the beauty of it. We can directly use SQL functions like ceiling function, round functions. Lots of functions are there. Okay, then we have case expressions. Let's see that case expressions. Another beauty of this new syntax, case expression. So let's go and use the case expression. For example, I want to display company details of business partner. Let's say I want to showcase the business partner. Displaying business partner from my SNW BPA table, business partner from SNWD BPA table. Okay, so I'll write the query here, select company name, BP role from my table name SNWD underscore BPA into table data lt data. Select company name BP role from my table name into table @lt data, and I'm simply going to display that. So loop at lt data into data ls data. This is normal displaying, right? ls data company name and ls data BP role. Okay, let's activate and check. Run as ABAP application. So this is my business detail here, business partner details, right? Now suppose I want to apply a case expression. I want to add some columns because of the case expression here. So I want to simply change the value of BP role. So what I will do, I will simply go for this BP role. Now let's make some changes in it. I will make it as a case BP role. Now in it, let's pass when the value is 0, 1. Let's say I want to display customer. Okay, when the value is 0, 2. Let's say I want to display supplier. When the value is 0, 3. I want to display contractor. I want to display contractor. Okay, when 0, 4. 3 should not be there, I think. Yeah, 3 will not be there. For contractor will be 4. Contractor. Then and else. I don't know. I don't know. Right? Else I don't know. And then we will simply end it. So, and as whatever no name you want, you can display. And as BP role. And as BP role from your table name into table LT data. It will be okay. Then keyboard is missing. Then yeah. Can you see in our single query we can directly apply case expressions. Now the value which was 0, 1, 0, 1 supposed to be, we are going to get this output instead of that. This is your case expression in your syntax. Let's check, activate and execute it. Run as ABAP application. See, customer, supplier, see, supplier, right? So lots of things are there and we can use them based on different requirement. This is your case expressions. We can also apply case expressions here. We can also write some case expression. Okay, so let's take a complex case situation. I'm going to simply comment it out. I will simply comment it out and I will go for a complex case situation. A complex case situation. Let's go and check that. For example, let's say I want to display my sales order ID and gross amount from the same SNWDSO table, and if the gross amount is higher than 1 lakh, then we will display some value. If it is smaller than that, we will display some other values. Let's check that, a complex case situation. So select sales order ID, gross amount, gross amount, then we will have a case, when gross amount is greater than 1 lakh, then high, when it is gross amount is less than 1 lakh, then 1 lakh and gross amount higher than 25,000, then medium, else we will display low. Okay, and we are going to end as order type, and as order type. From SNWD SO table into my table name, which is @data item. Okay, there is some problem. What could be the, yeah, I believe we have not given comma. Yeah, it's fine. This is a complex case situation. So again, let's display it. Loop at, just need this loop. No, this one. Loop at itab into data ls tab. And we are going to simply display our data. So work area, sorry, ls tab SOID, ls tab gross amount, and ls tab order type. Activate it, and let's check that. See, our amount, if its value is high, greater than 25,000, we are getting medium. If it is less than 25, we are getting low. If it is greater than 1 lakh, we are getting high value. So this kind of complex situation we can do. We can apply complex case operation also here using these things, right? Then we can use aggregate functions. We can also use aggregate functions inside the SQL case using group by also. You can use using group by also. So let's check that. Okay, just copy it, and I'm going to comment it out, and I'm going to make a little bit change here. Okay, all right, I don't need it. Let's remove it, write it separately. So using group by, using aggregate functions, using aggregate functions inside the SQL case using group by. So here I will go for select query, buyer guide, then I'm performing aggregate sum over gross amount, as gross amount, alias is mandatory. Then I will apply case. So see how we are using lots of things together. So when, let's say, sum of gross amount is greater than 20 million, 1 3 4, then if it is greater than 20 million, then I will display true, else I will display empty. Else, and as order type from table name SNWD SO group by buyer guide. Here we are using group by also into table @ data item @data item. Now let's display it. Okay, some problem is there. I forgot to give comma. So loop at itab into data work area. So right work area gross amount and work area, then after order type. Okay, so if the sum of gross amount will be 20 million, greater than 20 million, I will display true, otherwise false in the third column, which is my order type. Okay, let's activate and check it. Run as app application. See, the sum is, and we are using group by clause here. We are using group by clause, right? We are using group by clause here. We are using group by clause here. We can also use having clause here. We can also use having also. So group by, then after having sum. Now just see what is going to happen. If I am giving a having condition here, gross amount, if it is greater than 2 million, then only display data. Okay, then only display the data. Now what is going to happen? Check that out. See, the rest of the data has been removed because of this having one. Only those data whose sum is greater than 2 million is getting displayed now. Only those data are getting displayed because of it, right? Wonderful. Now let's move on to next operation here. So we can do a string concatenation now easily. We can use pipe operator. So let me just write here string concatenation. Yeah, we can use pipe operator now. Pipe operator for string concatenation. We can use pipe operator for string concatenation. Just see that. So earlier how we were doing string concatenation, we need a string, right? This is how we were doing LV string, data LV string, type string. So if I had to do the concatenate, let's say I want to display my country. So I love ABAP. or I love India, right? So if I have to add a single text here, I was supposed to add multiple ones also. Then India into LV string separated by space. This is what we were doing. So if I will display it, let's check it out. LV string, activate and check. See, if I have to display in single quotes, this is how we were doing. Now we don't need it. Don't need to write this much. Don't need to write this much. Nothing. We can do it in a single line. Now we can do in a single line. So data LV string is equal to pipe operator. Write the text. I love India. Check it out. Run as ABAP application. See, it's working perfectly fine. We can use variables in a string directly. So we can now use variables here also. So if you want, or concatenation, if you want to use a variable, let's say I have a variable LV country is equal to India. I want to call it. So here I can directly use variable also inside the pipe operator using double quotes. So LV country using curly braces. I can use this, right? Let's check. Activate, execute. See, it's working. So string concatenation also. We can use value expressions also. So that part we will see in the next part. Till then, thank you very much for watching the video. We will continue in the next part. So we saw lots of things here, right? Lots of things. We will continue in the next part.